Hello, this is Hammersmith Chess Club, Junior Hour Basics in 5 minutes or so. This video is the summary of a session we had in May 2020 on common basic checkmate patterns in middle games. We will see in time-lapse a few checkmates we discussed during the session. When watching the video now, you can stop at any time when you want to understand the new position and try to find the solution yourself. The first group of checkmates is ground rank mates, by rook or by queen. We start with two basic examples. So, what is white to do and mate? Ground rank mate. Solution. Check with rook can be taken. Second rook with check, still no ground rank mate, but now the queen mate. Second example, a little more difficult. Black to move and win by ground rank mate. Solution. Sacrificing the queen on f2, the rook can take. The other rook, the black rook, give check on ground rank, and then either rook can mate. The next examples show how defending pieces can be distracted from protecting the ground rank. Black to move and win. Queen a4, yes. If the queen is taken, then it will be ground rank mate by the rook. And if the rook on d8 is taken, it will be ground rank mate by the queen. Second example, white to win and move. Yes, queen e4. If the queen is taken, otherwise either queen or knight is lost, then it will be ground rank mate. And if black, for example, protects the knight with the queen, then white can take the knight. Of course, the queen cannot be taken again due to ground rank mate. Third example, not exactly a distraction, but kind of pushing the king to behind the two pawns. Queen e1 check would let the king escape via c2, but with queen e4 check, the king can be pushed behind the two pawns, and then queen sacrifice and ground rank mate. Three more examples show that the escape of the king from ground rank cannot only be prevented by own pawns, but also by a piece, in this case, the knight. White to win and move. Solution. Queen f7, attacking the rook. The rook can be taken, but then it is ground rank mate by the rook. And if the rook stays on the 8th rank, still the queen or the rook could move to a8, check, and mate. Again, a knight to prevent the escape of the king. White to move and win. Well, it's easier. Queen f6 check. If the rook takes, mate will follow. The last example, and we already can imagine the black pawn on b3 to prevent the white king to escape from the ground rank. Black to move and win. And the solution is rook d8. The reason why this works is because the queen is pinned by the queen e4, so the rook cannot be taken, but of course the queen can be taken, but then it is ground rank mate. The second group of basic checkmates in the middle game are checkmates with a queen on the 7th rank. So the first example, what is the solution? White to move and checkmate with a queen on the 7th rank. Yes, rook h8 check and queen g7 mate. It always requires the help of a friendly piece on the 7th rank, which is on the 6th rank, for example, either bishop, which we had seen, or pawn. Now, again, white to move and win. Looks easy, is easy. Yes, rook takes h7, queen takes, rook takes, the rook goes away because the king goes away, because if it takes on h7, there will be queen h6 check, queen protected by bishop b1, king g8, and queen g7 mate, the typical mate on g7. So the king moves away, but then it's rook h8 check, and exactly the same mate with queen mating on g7, protected by the pawn on f6. Final example, now black to move and win. And the solution is rook h1 check. To draw the king to the h-file, so the queen can come in with check. If queen h4 would be coming now, then there might be defensive possibilities like rook f4, and white might escape. So, but here black has the initiative and the queen comes in with check. And now indeed the pawn move, the simple pawn move g3 seals the fate of white. White cannot escape from the mate. There is a mate threat on h2, and if the rook, for example, allows the king to escape, then there would be indeed ground rank mate on h1. The last group of checkmates is the so-called smothered mate, which I want to show now. In its typical form, this checkmate comes from the knight, and it is called smothered because the king is completely blocked by its own pieces. And very often, these pieces have been drawn to their blocking locations by sacrifices. So, a very typical example is shown here, white to move and mate. Solution, queen c4 check on the diagonal, king goes to the corner, check with knight, the king has to come out, check with the knight again, it's a double check, it's a discovered check, queen c4 and the knight, so again the king has to move, can't move anywhere except back to the corner, and now check with the queen, a sacrifice, but the own piece, the rook, is drawn to prevent the king from escaping the last check and the checkmate by the knight. And this was actually a game of Jan Timman versus English Nigel Short. Second example, exactly 400 years ago, the great chess player Greco showed this mate as black to move and win, and that is easy. Queen f2 check, that's the easiest, king h1, and now king g1 check. And whatever white does, taking with the knight, it's a checkmate, and the same with the rook as well. It's checkmate. Another example, 1625, again by Greco. And this resembles very much the discover check method, which we have seen by Jan Timman. Check F2, discover check and double check. And now the knight is drawn to the escaping path, and knight F2 is the mate. And we come to another example. White to move and win. That's very easy. Yes, queen g8 check doesn't even require discovered or double checks. Again, knight f7 mate. And the last example of a discovered check, of a smothered check by Paul Morphy. It's from 1859, so already more than 100 years ago, 160 years ago, and very similar to two examples which we had seen previously. White to move and win. Yes, knight c5 check. The king cannot go to d8 because of queen d7 mate. Has to go to the corner, kind of corner, because on h8 there is still the rook. Check. Then double check and discover check, so the knight cannot be taken because it's a discovered check. The king has to go again to its corner, and now the defending piece, the own piece, will be drawn to the one remaining escape route. Look at how nice this looks, and mate by the knight. Now, this is the last of the examples. We have seen three basic checkmate patterns, and good luck with these in your future games. I'm sure you will be able to employ all of the patterns which you have learned today in the future yourself.